Honorable Rauf Hakim, you have 9 minutes.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the recent disaster, its magnitude and scale is such that any government would be definitely overwhelmed by the scale of it. And therefore, there is no point in criticizing any government, but when we discuss matters relating to this, we are entitled to point out certain shortcomings, and those must be accepted in the spirit of things. As it were, we have noticed several people have come forward to generously assist the affected people from all over the country. Different religious organizations came forward. People gave leadership. I must, as a member of Kandy district, I must say District Development Committee Chairman, Minister Lal Kanta, then there was Minister Nalin Herat, then there was Minister Sunil Senavi. Several people came. Even our opposition whip, Chief Whip Gayantha Karunatilaka came with machinery to help to remove garbage. Of course, the Gampala MP, Fazmin Sharif, was with me in several meetings where we were discussing immediate measures. I must also thank Mr. Deputy Speaker, because I must take this opportunity to thank the Akkarepattu Mayor, Mr. Ataullah, former Minister, and then our parliamentarian, Mr. Hizbullah, who came with the entire team from the Urban Council of Kathankudi, then Attalachena Pradesh Sabha Chairman, Mr. Uwais, and Erawur Urban Council Chairman, former MP Nalim, there are several others, MP Udumalebbe, Pothuil Chairman Musharraf. These people came with heavy machinery to remove all the garbage from the Gampala area, which is worst affected, including Gelioya and Kalugamu and various other areas in the Udnura district and Udapalata area. Udapalata and Gampala local authorities are controlled by the opposition. Yet, I must say, government also lent enough support, enough assistance to work together with the other opposition parties to relieve the burden that was there for the local authority members. All of them participated in a united way to somehow do our bit to save the people from this disaster. But then the relief machinery, disaster machinery, is very slow to respond. In some certain areas, the administrative machinery has taken a little time to get into action, but yet some things are now beginning to happen. But of course, the relief measures have not reached the people. Yesterday, Mr. Hizbullah too pointed out these matters. Ingunan innum kuripaga Cholavannam kuripaga Andiya Kadavatta Al Hikma Padasalayodeya Paridapa Nilamai. அந்த பாடசாலையில் அந்த இடத்திலே தொடர்ந்து வைக்க முடியாத ஒரு நிலைமை மிக பாரிய மண் சரிவுகளால் ஏற்பட்டிருக்கிறது. அந்த பாடசாலை வேறு இடத்துக்கு நகர்த்தி செல்ல வேண்டும் என்ற விவகாரம் சம்பந்தமாக நான் அங்கு இருக்கிற கல்வி அலுவலகத்திலும் அங்கு நடந்த உடப்படாத பிரதேச சபையுடைய அனர்த்த நிவாரண கூட்டத்திலும் அதே போல கண்டி அனர்த்த நிவாரண கூட்டத்திலும் சம்பந்தமாக கருத்திருக்கிறேன். நேற்று பிரதம அமைச்சரை சந்தித்து அவரிடத்திலே இந்த விவகாரம் சம்பந்தமாக சொல்லி அந்த பாடசாலை மட்டுமல்ல, ரம்புக்கலை பாடசாலை இன்று மிக மோசமான நிலையிலே அங்கு பாரிய நிலச்சரிவு காரணமாக 29 பேர் உயிரிழந்த நிலையில் ரம்புக்கலை பாடசாலை மிக மோசமான நிலையிலே பாதிக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. அந்த பாடசாலை வேறு இடத்துக்கு கொண்டு போக வேண்டும். இது சம்பந்தமாக உடனடி நிவாரணங்கள், immediate disaster recovery measures must be taken by the Education Ministry and Health Ministry. Now, Vattegama Hospital has to be shifted to a different place. It can't be left to be there. Therefore, immediate measures, whether it's health, education, we need to do a quick needs assessment. And this is why on the very first day when I spoke in Parliament, I asked the government to call for a donor conference. Of course, government has now announced that the donor conference is to be called. Honorable Minister Vijitha Herat had said so, and Daily Mirror says this, government to call for international donor conference. A needs assessment mission has been sanctioned by the World Bank to do this. But in the needs assessment, the local officers had to assist quickly to do the needs assessment. Needs assessment to not only to restore the infrastructure, to see that it is disaster resilient for the future, to face future disasters. And this is, and I must say that former projects, we have to bring them on again with the assistance of multilateral agencies like the World Bank and the ADB. One is climate resilient infrastructure project, which was a big program that the World Bank, ADB and various other bilateral donors also put money into that basket to carry on various disaster resilient infrastructure programs. Now that has been discontinued, that has to be put back on wheels so that we can have substantial funds flowing into that. And this, and when I also suggested, people started mocking at me, laughing at me, and also criticizing me. What I said was, symbolically, if you make an appeal to the former leaders of this country to come together in one table, make an appeal to the international community, it will have a symbolic impact. Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga had met the Prime Minister and made a donation from the Bandaranaike International Conference, the BMICH funds. That's welcome. But then there are other presidents who are, of course, maybe politically your rivals, but then for them to sit together and make a common appeal with the president would make a symbolic impact as far as the international community is concerned. That is why I said, forget about political differences today. All of us have come together at the local level. Why not we do it at the top level? That is what matters when it comes to international assistance. So do that. Even if it is late, it's not too late. But the fact is that when a disaster happens, delay every day matters. So the attention of the international community can be turned to different areas. Already we know Ukraine is there, West Bank issue is there, or rather the Gaza issue is there. So the Middle East and the Europe, their attention is elsewhere. Therefore, we need to get our closer neighbors to lead an effort to call for a donor conference. I hope this will be expedited so that enough funds can flow in. And also I must call for an immediate restoration of the entire Gampala urban area. The Gampala town is totally inundated. Every infrastructure has been destroyed. All the businesses have suffered.
Honorable Rauf Hakim, you have 2 more minutes.
There's hardly any resident who has not been affected. Therefore, a special urban regeneration program, together with a proper drainage plan, with the assistance of the UDA and the SLRDC, must be done for the Gampala Urban Council area. Such is the problem in the Gilioya town as well. And we've seen other small villages close to the river, various villages, Kalugamua, Parana, Alpitia, and various other areas where we had to remove garbage in piles and piles. We have finally completed that. This morning too, our machinery is working in those areas. I am quite glad that we were able to contribute at least in some small measure for the last 2 weeks to at least bring some relief and compensation to these areas. But then we must also now, the other issue is about the buffer zones. When it comes to the rivers, particularly the major rivers like Mahaveli and other tributaries of the Mahaveli, we need to have a proper buffer zone identified with the assistance of the NBRO, UDA, DMC, Irrigation Department, Mahaveli Authority, and SLRDC. We'll have to bring all these agencies together and decide on the buffer zone so that we will ultimately be able to determine which houses can remain there, which houses have to be shifted and relocated, and which houses can be repaired, and what is the buffer zone that will ultimately decide as far as policy is concerned. That has to differ from place to place because of the geographic location and the height and
Honorable Rauf Hakim, your time is up.
low tide areas. So these matters have to be given complete attention. I must thank also Mr. Nalim, former MP, then various others who have assisted us with heavy machinery to attend to these matters. Together with that, we must also talk about the issue concerning the insurance. Now, insurance regulator must be approached because insurance companies are finding ways and means to avoid paying insurance. And this is the biggest problem. And when a disaster strikes like this, when a cover is there for fire and floods, sometimes they hide behind the fact saying cyclone doesn't come within the stipulated packages to give relief. So these matters must be, because they have got enough reinsurance. This is why reinsurance is there. And they will have not their risk is mitigated by the insurance. Therefore, the insurance regulator must be called upon by the government to keep a careful eye
Honorable
on
Rauf
what
Hakim, your time is up.
how much of insurance is being repaid to these areas. Having said that, I request the Honorable Prime Minister is here as the Education Minister. As far as schools are concerned, 140 schools have been impacted in Kandy alone, but many schools, few of them had to be relocated. Therefore, a proper needs assessment has to be done very fast so that, and also make sure that you consult the local school communities, the School Development Society, the Old Boys and various others, so that you don't take a decision that will finally be not accepted by the local communities. So that consultation has to be held without delay, and I hope the President is expected to be coming to Kandy again. I hope the Prime
Honorable
Minister
Rauf
too
Hakim,
will
could you
find some
wind up?
time to come and listen to our problems and try to give some solutions. Thank you.